Hey Dream Street team, I hope you all are doing well on this Tuesday. It's me, Lynn, and I'm coming to you with a little bit of training. We're talking about getting back to the basics of our Color Street business. I do want to give you a heads up. I do have my son Bobby home today, so he may sneak in here now and then. He just literally came into the kitchen as I hit start on this video. So may get a little bit of an interruption or a visit from the curly-headed little guy who's actually next to me right now. So we'll see if he stays or if he heads out. But anyway, so first things first, I talked on the live I did this weekend about how we want to get back to the basics and relaunch our businesses. And I, alluded to the fact of getting your Franks list and getting your calendar blocked and things. And I got some questions from people about the specifics of your Frank list and the specifics of blocking your calendar. And so what I wanted to do, Bobby's actually reaching for my camera right now, is to talk a little bit about the specifics of how these things can work for you in your business and how you can utilize them as you go forward with your Color Street business. So let's talk about Frank first. I'm gonna post this in the group, but I put this together this morning, your Frank list, and what everything is for and stands for. So I'll post that in the group. It's a great guide that you can use when you're trying to figure out who you need to contact. So Frank is an acronym. I have no idea who came up with this, where it started, but it's kind of a direct sales known that they utilize the acronym Frank and an F-R-A-N-K. And some people will use Franks and put an S at the end, and we'll talk about the S in the middle. I actually left the S off. But F is for friends. So this is all of your friends. List, the rule of thumb, list at least 10. Try for 20, try for more. List all of your friends that you are, all of the people who are your friends. R is for relatives. So that's all your relatives, even the ones who annoy you. Listing them down on a list. Anyone who you think, anyone who you know. I mean, we're not judging people on this. We are listing the people we know and on this list. And, I would say for our business, it's probably going to be mostly women, unless you know some men with the flair for this. I'd love to have them on the team. Let me tell you, I think we're missing a huge opportunity with having some more male stylists here. So R is for relatives. Think about those relatives that would be stylists, host a party, and shop your nail strips. A is for acquaintances. And so when you think about your acquaintances, these are people like your coworker. So, people you talk to at work, but you don't necessarily hang out on the weekends, and you're not necessarily consider them your friends, but they're people things like if you're in any mom's clubs, or if you are maybe you're part of a country club, or maybe you're, your tennis club, or your book club, any of these people that maybe aren't necessarily friends, but that you see, on a regular basis. People who are at your church, people who are doing your hairstylist. So there's a lot of good options there. Think about all those acquaintances. N is for your neighbors. And I do want to bust into won't you be my neighbor, but I'm not going to do that. I won't torture y'all. Hey everyone, I see lots of people joining on. Thanks so much. We're talking about our Frank list. So we're getting here. Your N is for your neighbors, and these are neighbors from now or from forever. I know, some of us have moved around a lot. We've got quite a few here who are tied to the military and move quite frequently. I'm actually not tied to the military, but I've still moved quite a few times. I was joking around. We've been in this house now for 7 years, and that is the longest I have lived anywhere since I was 15, and I'm now 42. For me, it's going back to some of those other neighbors that I had in former communities. So when I lived in Charlotte, North Carolina, when I lived in Alexandria, Virginia, I had neighbors there as well, although a lot of them are friends too. So they might fall under both categories. But, I've got neighbors here who I never introduced the product to, and I'm sad to say that. But it's, you kind of get caught in your own little bubble now and then, and you don't necessarily reach out to folks. And then K is for your kid connections. If you're a mom, I know that a high percentage of our stylists and stylists on this team are moms. your kids have connections too. So Julie used to always share a great story with us about how she was sampling people as they were watching her daughter's soccer games. You know, she was hitting up all the soccer moms right there. So think about the soccer moms if your kids are into a sport. You know, cheer moms are great. I know what a great community that is because I used to do some parties with them. But anything else as far as, you know, that your kids are connected to. So their teachers, their clubs, their extracurricular activities, their friends, parents. Don't forget about them. Sometimes they can make great hostesses, stylists, and just customers. So think about all of those people as well. So as you work your way down through Frank, through this list, so you'll start to formulate a very long list of people. And the goal is at least 50. And I had the camera flipped so you can read, but now that means I can't. There we go. Anyway, so you'll have at least 50 if you get 10 of each, but shoot for more. I mean, if you shoot for 20 of each, then you'll have a list of 100. And then the question comes with, okay, I've got this list. What do I do with it now? All right, well, the goal with the list is that you want to reach out to people, but you want to personally reach out to them. We're not talking about spamming their social media inbox. We're talking about, you know, shooting them a text, giving them a call. The phone is an old-fashioned thing and it still works, guys. You know, shooting a voice message. I don't know about you, but sometimes it's nice when I get that voice message. I actually hear someone's voice like, hey, you know, I was thinking about you and I don't know if you've seen yet, but I have this new business with Color Street and I'd love to send you a sample. Are you still at your same address? Because I'd love to send that out to you. Because a lot of these people, you know where they live. You know, if they're your old neighbors, they're your friends, you probably already have their address. You may not have your hairstylist address, but, you know, shoot her a message. If you're anything like me, you know, like I can text my hairstylist and message her. But my hairstylists are already familiar, so that's good. Anyway, getting back on point, you are able then to reach out in a personal way. And don't veil it, okay? Don't be fake. Don't be like, I hate those messages. I absolutely hate them. I dread them when I get them. And I'm a big fan of treat others the way you would want to be treated. You simply say, I hope you're doing well. I was thinking about you. I have this new business. I'd love to send you a free sample. And who doesn't like free samples? This girl likes free samples, okay? So be genuine, be authentic. Don't reach out and be like, oh, hey girl, I saw your post and and blah, 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 and I wanna be your new best friend, and oh my gosh, I have a business, will you join? No, we don't wanna do that. We want to be real and authentic, okay? So just stick with that. Whatever feels real and authentic to you, that's what you do. And if you're just saying, I wanna send you a free sample, and they say, no, thank you. Okay, great, move on, all right? They're gonna say, yes, here's my address, or no, I'm not interested, or they're gonna ignore you. Those are the three things that are gonna happen. Just be okay with it, all right? So that's Frank. Let's talk about the S at the end of Frank, because there's a couple different variations of this. So some people say the S in Frank stands for spouse connections. Whatever, I don't know. I feel like those fall into all your other categories, unless for some reason your spouse has some like super secret life that you don't know about. I don't know. You know, cause like their work friends, whatever, throw them in under acquaintances. Okay. And you know, whatever. Or it can be social media connections, which again, I feel like social media connections kind of fall into the rest of these. And in fact, if you're having trouble making your list, pull up your friends list on Facebook and start looking through all of the people that you know and where they fall in that. I mean, I'm Facebook friends with my old neighbors. I probably haven't talked to them in a couple of years, but I'm still Facebook friends with them. So it's a great way to be able to reconnect with some people. And again, reconnect with them in a genuine way. Don't be fake. All right. So moving on from Frank. All right, once you've got your Franks list, once you're making connections, you're reaching out to people, and you can determine what you want to do. Like I said, the easiest one is just say, hey, can I send you a free sample? And you can, good advice, Kristen, you can print your Facebook friends list and write on it so you can check people off and right there. Easy peasy. I love that. So you can even print your Facebook friends off so that you can go through them. But once you have that list together, the list of people that you now want to talk to about your business, again, easiest, simplest thing is just be like, hi, can I send you a free sample? If you know them better, if they're part of your friends or they're your relatives, like, I mean, if your sister-in-law should host a party for you, come on. So people like that, you may dive into. I would love to host a party, give you a girls' night out with you and your friends, okay? Or, if you're closer and you know people's circumstances, don't be afraid to say, like, if you're interested, I'd love to tell you more about my business because it's bringing joy to my life again. I know you've fallen on some tough times lately, but this is working really well for me and I'd love to tell you more about it. Again, if you're genuine, that's good. Just be real with people. That's my biggest piece of advice for anyone in anything you do in your life, okay? Just be real. But once you start reaching out and making those connections beyond just offering a sample, people want to book parties, people want to potentially become stylists. Well, in order to do that, you need to know your calendar. So the second basic that we need to get back to is blocking your calendar. So going back to your calendar and taking a look. I like to look at mine weekly because it changes. My husband likes to be like, so I need to travel the week of blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, great. Okay, thanks for the heads up 2 weeks before you're leaving. And so I know that I'm going to have different childcare needs, that I'm going to have these other things. So I look at my calendar weekly. I look at what I know for sure. And this is something that you can do. I know some people who will block party times, and those are sacred blocked party times on their calendars. And they do it, their family has an understanding. Like, I have one friend, she does parties on Friday nights, and she does them late Sunday afternoons. And those are her party times. Her family is well aware that she is gone Friday night, and she's gonna be gone on Sunday afternoon. And that is that, done, finished. And those are her times she offers no matter what. I have a little bit of a different plan myself. I like to do Facebook parties on Thursday nights. Thursday nights tend to be my best Facebook party night. I also like to do them on Sunday nights, are my other Facebook party night. But I lean towards Thursdays first. In-person parties, I really need to set them for Saturdays. My husband has a very unpredictable travel schedule. I don't have secure babysitters because of, my son having special needs. And so, for me, in-person parties have to happen at a time when I can do them. So I like to usually set those for Saturdays, or do events on the weekends and such. You need to know that, but you also need to know when you can do phone calls, and when you can arrange for some of those other things. You may have some more flexibility in the school year than during the regular time. If you're working full time, well, you may be able to do phone calls at lunchtime. So knowing that on your calendar so that when somebody taps back to you, somebody reaches back to you and says, oh my gosh, I think this is awesome. Yes, send me a sample. In fact, I'd love to host a party that you can immediately go back with. That's awesome. Here are the dates I have available in the next 3 weeks. Which one would you like? Or I'm booked for the next 3 weeks. Here are the dates I have available next month. So making sure that you have that information always readily available, especially if you're doing an event. If you're doing a nail bar, anytime you're doing a nail bar, you should have that information ready because you're gonna offer the party, you're gonna offer the business, and people are going to say, well, I'd like to talk to you a little bit more about it. When can we chat? And you're gonna say, I'm available Tuesday at noon and Thursday at 2 o'clock. Which one works for you? I could also do Wednesday night at 9. Which one works? And they're gonna look at their calendar and they're gonna see and say, oh, well, actually, you know what? My kids are out of school this week, so Wednesday at 9 is the best time because that's after bedtime, so I can talk to you then. All right, so that's what calendar blocking is. It's really just making sure that you know your calendar inside and out, that you're blocking off the things that are, non-negotiable. So if your kids are in a sport and you've got to be schlepping them around after school every day, block that off because that's not going to work for you. If you are working full time, you're not available during the day. Block that off, okay? Make sure you know the times when you are available to do phone calls, do parties, talk to potential stylists, do any and all of the things. All right, so I know it sounds simple, but sometimes it's a trick, it's a tactic to get you thinking about it. And also people are more responsive when you give them a specific. So giving them a specific time, a specific thing that you, if you are saying, I can host a party on Thursday, October 15th, I don't know if that's a Thursday, but then they're coming back with, okay, I can't do Thursday the 15th, what else do you have? And you can be like, oh, okay, well, I have this date and this date. Have very specific goals. Anyway, all right, so that's all for today. Getting back to the basics, we're gonna continue to do that over the next couple of weeks. There's a couple of things I'm gonna add on as well. I am going to be posting these videos to YouTube. I had some feedback that not everyone is on Facebook and people are missing things. So I'm going to be uploading these training videos to YouTube. So if you missed the video, missed the playback, have a team member who's not on Facebook regularly, let them know that those are going to be available. I am also planning to jump into some more basics, getting into direct sales 101 and doing so. Do you recreate the list monthly? Kristen, great question. Most people will tell you just to constantly add to your list. You're never necessarily recreating it, but add to it. You're always adding to it. You're always meeting new people. You're always thinking of other people. Just continually add to it and go back, check off and see who you've listed. Only for people who haven't contacted you before or shopped with you before. This list really is for the people probably who you haven't contacted before. I would say you probably have a separate list of people who are already familiar with your product, who have already shopped with you, who've already hosted with you. I mean, you should have a list of previous customers. You should have a list of previous hostesses. You should have a list of people I talked to about the business but didn't sign up. People I met at events, so that those are people you're going back to. So yes, the list, and this is where, again, this is like a getting started thing. So really, when you're first launching your business, when you're launching your new stylist, this is where you should start. But if you're like me, I launched fast and furious. I started making a list, and then I started contacting people, and then people started contacting me, and things got really busy, and I never went back to the list. And there are people on it that I still haven't contacted, and there are a lot of people that I left off of it. So this is part of getting back to basics for me, is going back, remaking that list, reaching out to those people again, or for the first time, who, maybe I know they're watching me on social media, but they've never asked about the product, they've never asked for a sample. It's time to reach out to them. All right? All right, ladies, thank you very much for this time today. I do appreciate it. And if you have questions, drop them in the comments. And I will be sure to post this information here, as well as a couple other links to articles about blocking your calendar and such. All right, thank you.